In today's news, BVI police officer now under investigation for an alleged indecent assault to a minor.
Virgin Islander Dr. Stephanie Vanterpool shines as she effectively treats patients suffering from pain.
We also see Governor Rankin highlighting what he says are deficiencies in Cabinet's system of governance.
For the first time in 9 years, ESHS presents a male valedictorian, Rams Radio Media Group reports.
All right, viewers, and we're asking you to vote for our BVI Queens. They're currently in California, and they need your votes. We have all the details when 284 News returns.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today. The win.
What in the hell?
I'm freaking out.
Is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the
What's poppin'? What's really good?
Davis has won it for the Lakers.
Welcome everybody. It's Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. We're coming to you out of Rotown, Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And my name is Javon Wilson, of course, here with your daily dose of local, regional, as well as international content. Where else other than here at 284 News? Viewers, lots to get into today, beginning with some troubling news. An officer of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force is now under investigation following a troubling allegation of indecent assault against a minor. Now, according to reports reaching our newsroom, the accused is being investigated for sexual misconduct with a girl under the age of 13 years old. Our newsroom, in speaking with Information Officer of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, Ms. Diane Drayton, was able to confirm some details of the allegation. Ms. Drayton said, and I quote, "The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force is presently conducting inquiries into allegations of indecent assault against a police officer. As in all allegations, this case will be thoroughly investigated. No charges have been laid. No other information can be released at this time." End of quote. Now, viewers, it was further alleged, based on reports reaching our newsroom, that the accused handed in his resignation letter. We have the identity of the accused, but will withhold until a formal charge is made.
And on to some very positive happenings. Mr. Sequoia Smith, ESHS, Elmore South High School, has reported that Rams Media Group have reported that for the very first time in 9 years, believe it or not, viewers, the Elmore South High School presents a male valedictorian. Graduating as top student is the one and only Mrs. Sequoia Smith. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Of course, Jovan, it's graduation season, and we wish all of our students the very best.
Damn,
of
so
course,
good.
It's amazing, amazing. And one of the beautiful things about Mr. Smith is that while he was expecting it, literally, he was on pins and needles as he waited in anticipation, supported by teachers and students. And again, this is what we should be promoting. In addition to that, he makes up the top 10, but in that top 10, it's 50% male, 50% female.
Absolutely.
The top, 10
I love it. And we want to say congratulations to all of our graduates as well.
Of course, panning over to Rotan, congratulations to all 85 striders. They are exiting the Alther Scatliff Primary School, and they continue to be a strider. We encourage them to be a strider at heart as you continue your educational journey to it. For media again, congratulate each and every one of you on this amazing journey.
And speaking about congratulations, we want to be able to congratulate our BVI Ambassador Queens, who are currently in California, and they actually need your help, viewers. We also have Miss BVI Curvey. She is Sophia Rubain. She's currently in second place as it relates to the voting. And of course, we really need your votes to up the score for Mrs. BVI Classique. She is no other than the beautiful Miss Deborah Maddox. Now, securing the #1 vote actually will guarantee these ladies a spot in the finals. And of course, it's $10 per vote, but all of the proceeds are going towards women in need across the globe. So viewers, like you can see on the screen, for Mrs. Deborah Maddox, she is our Mrs. Classique. You have to go to that web address. That is www.mistressglobe.com/mistress-classique-bvi-2021. And the same follows for Sophia Rubain. Just follow that web address and you'll be able to cast your votes. You can also follow Win BVI, that is Win British Virgin Islands, for additional updates as we count down to the finale this Saturday. You have up until Saturday to vote. So viewers, please vote for our BVI ambassadors.
And wishing them all the best. Viewers, beginning on the local scene as it pertains to news here in the British Virgin Islands. Virgin Islander Dr. Stephanie Vanterpool is the Director of Comprehensive Pain Services for the University of Tennessee Medical Center. She's also the Assistant Professor of Anesthesiology at the UT Graduate School of Medicine and the Medical Director for the University Center for Pain Management in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, Dr. Vanterpool's expertise and accolades in the healthcare industry go on and on, but today the focus is her cutting-edge pain treatment practices. Her treatment processes is a much-needed change for effectively treating individuals who suffer from pain on a daily basis and simultaneously combat, believe it or not, the U.S.'s opioid epidemic. Now, recently, she was featured on WVLT Eyewitness News out of Knoxville, Tennessee. We take you over to WVLT Eyewitness News out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Take a look for the inspiring
Pain
work
often keeps people from doing what they love in life.
Ann Brock introduces us to an East Tennessean who used to feel that way, who is finally enjoying life again.
I didn't give up.
Decades of living in pain after complications from a past medical procedure.
I've been over-medicated, I've been under-medicated.
Debbie Satterfield was hesitant to see another doctor. Then she met Dr. Stephanie Vanterpool at UT Medical Center.
When she came and described her pain to me, I thought that there was more than one source, an abdominal source and possibly a muscle spasm in the back.
She changed my life.
Dr. Vanterpool using what she's termed targeted pain treatment, giving Satterfield a nerve block for one problem and trigger point injection for the back spasms, plus some time in physical therapy.
I'm targeted where my pain, where the spasms are, and they showed me how to do some stretches that I can just do at home.
Targeted pain treatment is the process of accurately diagnosing the cause of pain and then targeting the treatment to the cause.
The doctor saying your treatment could include a range of things that may or may not include medication.
Massage can absolutely be helpful, especially for deep tissue or muscle pain. Acupuncture can absolutely be helpful for certain types of pain.
Living again, enjoying the outdoors, and spending time on her leather crafting.
As soon as it starts acting up, I know now what it is, and I can start doing my stretches.
Not totally free from pain, but also not dependent on a daily painkiller.
I can manage it now.
In Knoxville, Ann Brock, WVLT News.
That doctor is holding a free webinar Friday at noon.
Well, to register, you go to the link we have for you in the WVLT News section. Check on the As Seen on.
All right, viewers, that was the our very own Virgin Islander, Dr. Stephanie Vanterpool. Now, she's the daughter of prominent medical professionals, Dr. Hesketh Vanterpool and Mrs. Jean Vanterpool, nurse,
Yes.
who are the co-executives and the directors behind Bougainvillea and Eureka Medical Clinics. Now, this Friday, June 25th, 2021, at 12 p.m., Dr. Stephanie Vanterpool will be hosting a free patient and caregiver virtual event on targeted pain treatment. If you or a loved one lives with daily pain, this could be your help. To register, please go to utconferences.eventsair, that's event, SAIR.com, forms/register. And of course, her aim is to help more patients live life without being limited by pain. Now, Dr. Stephanie Vanterpool comes to the British Virgin Islands, or her home, really, ever so often. And she's actually going to be in town this weekend conducting and seeing patients at Bougainvillea and Eureka Medical Clinic. A proud moment, Jovan, for all Virgin Islanders, but particularly because not only are Virgin Islanders receiving help, but persons across the U.S. are receiving help as well.
Absolutely. You had a VI accent coming all the way through.
Strong accent.
Absolutely love it. But just really speaking to the talent and that's available right here in the BVI and beyond. And like you said, giving service to the rest of the world. So big moment for the Virgin Islands. As we move on, government is now working on making the Register of Interests declarations by legislators a public document, but will be bringing forward two options to the House of Assembly to best choose from. This is according to Premier Andrew Foy, who made the statement before the ongoing Commission of Inquiry recently. He said that the amendments to the existing legislation, is in a very early stage, but also revealed his government will be presenting to the House the options of whether to make the Register of Interests a public document or make it publicly accessible. Now, a public document can be accessed by anyone who chooses to request the respective document, while a publicly accessible document has several instituted protocols that must be followed to successfully gain access to the relevant document. Now, these protocols may include the individual having to provide information to explain why they may need a requested document. The Premier said that the decision to make the document public when the Act first came into effect in 2008 was unpopular. However, since then, the minds of many legislators have evolved. Listening.
I would say that in 2008, when it came into force, if my memory serves me well on it, there was overriding thought by all the elected members at that time that it should not be a public document. And that was in 2008. But as time passed, even before becoming Premier, I saw the need for it to be reconsidered in my mindset, which is something that we are working towards, to give the House of Assembly in the near future two options. One, whether it should be a public register or if it should be publicly accessible. Given the reason that we wanted to stay parallel with what we believe for the financial services, should it be a public register or should it be a publicly accessible register? That is a concept that we're bringing forward. As you know, we already started to do the revision of the Registry of Interest Act, and it has not reached Cabinet as yet, but there has been some trends of thought about it before it reaches into Cabinet, and even when it does go to Cabinet and when it gets to the House. I can't say what it will end up to be, because you know the House of Assembly has a final say and a final vote. But those are the two areas that we'll be bringing to put forward to members now. And we live in a very small community. You have to see through our lens, where everyone knows each other. You're talking about 30 to 35,000 persons, unlike in terms of the UK, where there'll be about 67 million persons. And you do not want to put whether elected officials or senior public officers' life in danger of the same mindset of what I said with financial services, with the vulnerable, of persons who just would go and look and you don't know what they will do to you or your family. So you also have to look at it from a security point of view. You can't just look at it that you're elected, so everything needs to be open. But if it's publicly accessible and persons who go to it can explain why they're coming to it, what they want it for, and also explain in terms of what they're going to do with the information, so that there are some safety nets for whoever is elected.
That was our Honorable Premier speaking at the COI on Friday, June 18th. Now, safety nets are needed to protect legislators. That is according to the Premier. The Premier also stressed on why a need for safety nets on such a pivotal document is needed. Using the small population size of the BVI as a reference, he said legislators' lives can be put in danger if such information reaches the wrong hands. Listening.
And we live in a very small community. You have to see through our lens, where everyone knows each other. You're talking about 30 to 35,000 persons, unlike in terms of the UK, where there'll be about 67 million persons. And you do not want to put whether elected officials or senior public officers' life in danger of the same mindset of what I said with financial services, with the vulnerable, of persons who just would go and look and you don't know what they will do to you or your family. So you also have to look at it from a security point of view. You can't just look at it that you're elected, so everything needs to be open. But if it's publicly accessible and persons who go to it can explain why they're coming to it, what they want it for, and also explain in terms of what they're going to do with the information, so that there are some safety nets for whoever is elected.
Now, viewers, since the advent of the ongoing COI, a greater emphasis has definitely been placed on the Register of Interest. We've seen it, we've heard about it in several capacities here in the BVI. After it was found that a majority of present and past legislators were in breach of the act. I think very strong comments. I think being that the Register of Interests Act has come to the forefront, that conversation, and in very deep detail, it really beckons the question of whether, like the Premier said, it should be made public or publicly accessible. One of the concerns the Premier is bringing forward as it relates to it being public is the easy access of anyone who might have bad intentions. And Ron, as we reflect on even within our study within journalism, you come to realize that even legislators, even though they are public figures and must present to the best of their ability a level of transparency to the public, it shows that even legislators deserve some level of privacy, even within their capacity. So I guess for me, what it really boils down to is public consultation on whether this should be public or publicly accessible.
Well, I think the issue comes about in the final analysis, whether or not the legislation is there to support. And I think if indeed we are moving in the direction, either one way, private or public, it needs to be finalized.
Absolutely. Veer, still ahead, Governor Rankin is highlighting what he calls, or what he says are deficiencies in Cabinet's system of governance. And we see the BVI graduates first cohort of certified solar industry professionals. Of course, Dr. the Honorable Natalio Wheatley is congratulating students. We have all the details when 284 News returns. Stick with us.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of it then. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, more on the local scene. We see Governor John Rankin. He has flagged several deficiencies observed within Cabinet's system of governance since taking office in late January of this year, 2021. Now, the governor highlighted some of the deficiencies in his position statement submission to the Commission of Inquiry just recently. Now, according to the BVI's constitution, the governor is responsible for chairing each cabinet meeting, but he does not have a vote in any of the decisions made. Now, Governor Rankin was asked what he considers to be some of the weaknesses in the current governance system in the BVI. He listed some of what he views as deficiencies within Cabinet's procedures, stating that a number of embedded protocols are not properly adhered to. The governor said, and I quote, "Under the terms of the Cabinet Handbook, papers should be presented at least 2 days in advance in order to give members of Cabinet adequate time to consider proposals in which they are asked to make decisions. But in almost all Cabinet meetings I have chaired to date, a number of papers, including on very important issues, for example, the COVID-19 response, have been submitted late, and it is clear that some ministers have not been able to fully read them in advance of Cabinet, meaning that decisions are taken other than on a fully informed basis," he explained. Now, Governor Rankin also said that he believes several papers are brought to Cabinet for approval, which are done without sufficient consultation taking place. He made reference to one recent instance, which he says is partly the reason why this past legislation has not been assented to. Governor Rankin said, and I quote once again, "A notable example is the Disaster Management Act 2020, on which I understand the previous governor was not consulted, and to which date I have not assented, given its impingement on the responsibilities of the governor and the proposed transfer of control over disaster preparedness and the management from the BVI to ministers," end of quote. Now, viewers, like you do know, the BVI is currently undergoing a Commission of Inquiry investigation, which of course is looking into whether corruption, abuse of office, or other serious dishonesty may have taken place amongst public, elected, and statutory officials in recent years. I think a very valid observation by the governor, and I think once when it comes to our legislations and really these governing pieces, that are supposed to guide and direct the BVI, it's clear, and we've seen it in the past, that many of our legislators are not sending out a very comprehensive message, and it really shows that they might not be prepared for the process.
It's not, might not, they definitely are. Many of them, not only like the governor is talking about when it comes to cabinet, but even when you sit and observe and take in the House of Assembly proceedings, the one job of a government official is to be able to come and holistically debate, and it is clear by the lack of presentation, the lack of detail, that many of the representatives not only come to cabinet, but come to the House of Assembly, which is public to us, and have no understanding of the very bills that they're speaking about. In some cases, I'm sure the information is late, but that is your responsibility. And I think on a cohesive perspective, we need to do more in making sure that they are prepared so that they can then come and defend and prepare the number of causes that we are so eloquently in need of.
Absolutely.
Now, continuing on, the BVI graduated its first cohort of 39 certified solar industry professionals from the Caribbean Energy Institute Solar Technician Training Program. Now, the professionals who graduated on May 3rd have acquired hands-on experience, and more than half of the participants have received globally recognized qualifications, including the North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners. Now, having a NABCEP certification means that the individual is recognized and qualified to work in the field of renewable energy. Prior to this program, only one person in the territory of the Virgin Islands possessed a NABCEP license. Now, at graduation, 17 students had successfully acquired their license as prolific installers. Now, in order to become eligible to sit their licensing examination, students demonstrated proficiency in solar policies, procedures, and practices, introduction of prolific site assessment, system design, systems installation, maintenance, and troubleshooting in smart grid. Now, the examinations are individually sat and virtually procured, and students have had 2 attempts to pass. 3 additional students have passed since graduation. More are expected to attain their licenses by the end of the month. Now, the Solar Technician Training Program was made possible via grants for scholarships from the Unite BVI, the BVI Electricity Corporation, H. Lavey Stout Community College, and the Government of the Virgin Islands. Deputy Premier of the Virgin Islands, Dr. the Honorable Natalio Wheatley, whose portfolio, of course, also includes education, told graduates, and I quote, "You have made yourselves more marketable, equipped yourselves with skills and knowledge to be able to participate fully in this new economy being established here in the Virgin Islands. You have electrified your dreams, you have fueled your hopes and aspirations, and you're empowering the transformation of your people and the economy." He continued by saying, "What we are doing was not done in the financial services nor the tourism sector. This new industry, which has arrived to the Virgin Islands, has been reserved exclusively for you." The Deputy Premier referenced the superstorms of 2017, the occurrence of the same he attributed to climate change. He then stressed the importance of going green by utilizing the power of the sun. Honorable Wheatley also commended the Unite BVI team for transforming lives, adding, and I quote, "They must feel a great sense of pride watching you, the recipients of these certificates, because you were put in the work. It's very gratifying to see the fruits of your labor." Honorable Wheatley also really told graduates, "You will be the forefront of the projects happening in the public sector," adding, "We want to ensure that all our schools, because I can speak to schools," he said, "and I'm sure we'll be able to extend to all public buildings in the territory to be powered by solar energy." The Education Minister also said that 2 schools that already have installed solar, those being the Brigado Flags Educational Center and the Leonora Delville Primary School, and said the Ivan Dawson Primary School will soon be outfitted. Now, BFEC solar project was also done via Unite BVI initiative and its donor partners. Unite BVI Foundation Manager Lauren Akil commented and said the foundation is proud of the scholarship recipients and all other graduates who will be making strides in the Virgin Islands renewable energy industry. Unite BVI's overarching vision is to create opportunities that inspire and empower generations of arising world changers, starting in the British Virgin Islands. Now, the Solar Technician program is certainly in alignment with the vision. It is also in alignment with our mandate to support entrepreneurs, as many other students will go on to establish their own solar farms and create other business opportunities in the industry. Jovan, as we know, this is quite a groundbreaking initiative, and we are proud to see these 17 students. Of course, now we see the Honorable Minister weighing in once again and congratulating them, but with all that has transpired throughout the Caribbean, throughout the world, I think we are understanding more and more the importance of going green and, of course, utilizing the sun.
And it really ties in with the bigger overall agenda that the government has for the Virgin Islands, which is to have a green economy by 2035. And I think that's quite an ambitious goal, but realistic only if we are putting the steps in place. It begins with training our human resources. And we do see here the government doing what it should in order to prepare. And I think it really speaks to not just the BVI, but the prospects for the region as well. We could definitely be a region, a leader in the region as it relates to this, what the minister is calling a new industry for the BVI.
Well, you're absolutely right. And one of the things that I want to put to our leaders is like these young men and women who have established this beautiful training, we too need to get to the point where we're articulating and putting this type of training in our schools from the very beginning, just like agriculture, just like financial services, where we're moving towards incorporating into our lesson plans and our curriculum. It is important that students of the youngest of ages be introduced to the importance of the environment and solar energy and utilizing the sun from in school, so that when they get to the point like these young men and women where they're able to go away and train here locally, it's not something new, it's not something brand new, it's not something that they don't have an understanding, but they would already have a keen level of knowledge as it pertains to where we're trying to go.
Absolutely. Viewers, before we head out, we want to bring to your attention a few details I see coming out of the Ministry of Health just today. I do know that generally persons who are requesting to home quarantine when they enter the British Virgin Islands, residents, locals, of course, they usually have to email that home quarantine checklist to a specific email. I personally would have had to do that. And by the way, I just want to give a quick shout out to the team there at the BVI Health Services Authority and the task force who would have assisted the process. Such a seamless process for me recently as it relates to getting questions answered. And a very special shout out to Dr. Ronald Georges, who definitely went above and beyond. There was an issue with the online website at one point. Something was sticking, but he was able to, in a very timely manner, respond to me, get my information in there. And I think this is the level of service they've been providing in general to persons coming in. But again, for persons who want to home quarantine, you no longer need to do that by emailing that checklist. Now it's available via web form, and that is at bvimonitor.info/home quarantine. Again, that is bvimonitor.info/home quarantine. Such a seamless process once you can now head to the website. We also see on the international scene Michael B. Jordan. He was definitely in some hot sauce recently as it relates to the launch of a new rum. He didn't launch it as yet.
He couldn't get to launch it
yes,
yet.
Just about to do that. There was a leak, as you can see the picture on the screen. That was supposed to be the name of his new rum. I think he was collaborating with a Trinidadian with hopes of launching Juve, which is his new rum. However, lots of public backlash. Persons were of the opinion that this is a case of cultural appropriation. So you see on the screen, he said, he came forward after a while, breaking his silence, saying, "I just want to say on behalf of myself and my partners, our intention was to never offend or hurt a culture we love and respect, and hoped to celebrate and shine a positive light on. The last few days has been a lot of listening, a lot of learning, and engaging in countless community conversations. We hear you, I hear you, and want to be clear that we are in the process of renaming the rum. We sincerely apologize and look forward to introducing a brand we can all be proud of. Now,
Jovan,
Ron,
let me just tell you, as a Caribbean man, I
Yes.
didn't take no insult at all.
Yes.
Okay, I see where it could have been insulted to
Yes,
others, and
yes.
we appreciate the fact
Yes.
that he's now listening.
Right.
But with St. Kitts and Nevis heritage, you travel all across the Caribbean.
Juve.
We Juve.
We love
fit,
Juve.
So hey, I get it. But we
I
look forward
think
to
what
seeing-
persons didn't know is that he was collaborating with a Caribbean
Right.
national, which I guess inspired the name. But we love to see it. We love that he's listening, and this really speaks a volume to his character and who he is as a person. So viewers, that is all we have for today, but you can check out our website, 284media.com. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Ron Grant. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.